Hi everyone, my name is Kasia. Thank you so much for joining me today, and today I want to talk about my knitting. So first of all, thank you so much for 100 subscribers. It's a lot, like the number is a lot for me and it means a lot to me. So thank you so much. It's kind of crazy that there's 100 people that want to hear me talk, want to see me talk. So if you end up liking this video, please consider subscribing if you didn't do that already. And I think that I have never properly introduced myself. So my name is Kasia. I live in the north part of Poland together with my husband, 3 cats and a dog, and I'm pretty sure that some or maybe even all of them will join us throughout the video. By day, I am a software engineer. I build web apps. And apart from that, I am a knitter, a crocheter, sewist. I also do some pottery, I do gardening, and basically I collect hobbies. Some of them stick, some of them don't. It's been 4 weeks since I have recorded last because life has just been busy and I didn't really have time or the energy to film. So I have quite a lot to talk about today, but maybe I will be able to keep it shorter. I have a fan going on, so sorry if you hear any noise, but it's very hot and I wouldn't be able to film without the fan. I have 3 finished objects and 3 works in progress that I'm actively working on. I have some more, but I will skip them for today. But let's start with the finished objects, and the first one is what I'm wearing. And this is a project that you might have seen a couple of times before. This is the Irina top by Mochi Knits, and I have made it with Furora Yarns Burette silk yarn, 100% Burette silk. It's similar to Knittings for Olive Pure Silk in both the composition and the yardage. And it's totally outside of my comfort zone because of this slit here, but in the end I really like it. I think it's, even with this slit, it's extremely wearable. I'm not sure if I will be able to show it to you. Like half squatting I will be. It has this like split at the bottom, and I had to find some high enough pants to cover my belly button, so because it didn't look right with that. I have made it according to pattern, apart from adding the bust darts. I have talked about that in the previous episode. The top is pretty simple in construction. You start with the back, then pick up for the fronts, do some armhole shaping, and then you do some waist decreases. They are optional. And then you finish everything off with I-cords. This is the only part where I had issues because my pickup rate, the recommended pickup rate is 1:1. And I have tried that and it was flaring out a lot, so I did like 7 out of 8, then 6 out of 7, and so on, and it still was flaring out. But I maybe not flaring out. I thought that, yeah, this time it will look okay after I block it. But in the end, when I blocked it, it was still all wrong. So I had to undo both of the armhole I-cords and redo them. I have now some elastic threaded in through them, and I think it's all good now. You cannot see my bra. The bottom is finished off with Icelandic bind off, and I really didn't like the process of doing it, but I think it looks really nicely. It's a bit stretchy and it looks good with the 4x1 rib. And in the end, I am very happy with the finished object. One more thing, I have used those vintage glass buttons. They are glass, and I think they fit the garment perfectly. And yeah, I bought them some time ago on Vinted, and I think they are from either 60s or the 70s based on the branding, because I still had the small package with them. So they are from the 60s or 70s, and I'm very happy that I was able to use them. So I count this as success, but then I have some failures. And the second finished object, I think it's a failure, but I'm not yet convinced. So this is the Salty Days pullover by Veronica Lindberg. It's all finished and it's blocked, but I have not woven in the ends yet because I have mixed feelings about this one, and I was just postponing the finishing touches because I'm not sure if I like it, but nevertheless I will not frog it. I will either reblock it or give it to my mom. And the problem that I have with it is that I think it's just too small. So you probably know the Salty Days pullover is this all over textured lace sweater with the texture sections, and it's supposed to be quite oversized. I have knitted it off gauge. I have used 4mm needles and DK weight yarn. I think originally it's done on 5.5mm needles, I think. So I knew that it will be smaller, and I still made size 4M, I think. But when I was trying it on and just measuring against my body, I thought that it will still be okay. And it is okay, but it's just a regular fit, not an oversized fit that I was aiming at. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep it for myself or maybe give it to my mom, who is much more thinner than me, so it will probably look better on her, or I just might need to reblock it because I have washed it and then laid out flat without any stretching, but I think there is some room for growth here. This is the width that it is right now at, but I can stretch it quite a lot. It will make the garment shorter, so more cropped, but I wouldn't mind it if it was wider. Then it will have this quite boxy fit, and I'm okay with that. The arms are in this 3x1, 1x3 rib pattern, so they are quite cinched in as well, but they can be stretched again. So I might reblock it and just give it one more go. If not, my mom will wear it. I made it according to the pattern, apart from doing it off gauge. And then there is quite a significant modification that I did. Because I was knitting off gauge, my row gauge was also much shorter, which meant that by the time I have finished the recommended repeats for the pullover, it was very cropped. It was just hitting me under the boobs. So I have done one more repeat of this diamond pattern. So this diamond pattern, and it was still too cropped. So I was looking through the projects on Ravelry, and one of people did this mock cable pattern for the hems on both sleeves and the body, and I kind of stole it and then I finished it off with the eyelet repeat, and I did the same for the calves. And I think it fits the overall pattern quite nicely. It looks like rib, but it's not rib. So and I have I had 9 balls of the yarn that I have used, and the yarn was Lana Grossa Supima, I think, which is 100% Pima cotton. First time working with Pima cotton, I really liked it. It doesn't feel anything like regular cotton, so if you can use Pima cotton, I would really recommend it. This yarn is discontinued, So there was no chance that I would be able to buy more of it. And in the end, I have used almost exactly 9 balls. I had just like one small ball left. So yeah, in this category, it's a success that I won the yarn chicken, but the jury is still out whether this is a success or a failure. We will see. Oh, and the pattern itself, it's very clear, and I think there is a video where Veronica Lindberg, the author of the pattern, Kutowa Kika, she walks you through the whole process. So if it's your first time working with textures, lace, this one, even though it's quite complex, because of the video, it might be good for beginners. So the last finished object that I have is something that I don't think you have seen before. It's my Not-Sophie shawl. So this is the croissants shape, but in the end, it looks exactly like something from a Sophie family, Sophie shawl, or a bigger scarf. I don't use a pattern for this because it's quite simple. If you're interested, everything that I talk about will be linked in the description box down below, together with my Ravelry projects. And in the Ravelry project for this, I left I left instructions on how I do this. It's a bit different from the original Sophie by Petite Knit, I think, because she's doing an I-cord where you slip stitches, and for mine I am doing basically double knitting. Not sure if there's a lot of a difference. Maybe there's not, but I just think this one looks cleaner. I am doing increases for this one. I did increases every 6th round. I have started with every 8th, but it was just getting skinny and long and it felt out of proportion, so I ripped back and switched to an increase on one side only. So on this side, every 6th row, every 3rd garter bump, I have worked until I had half of the yarn left, and then I did the decreases the same way. And the yarn that I have used is Cardiff Cashmere Classic, which I have found on Vinted at a very, very good price, probably even a year ago. So yeah, perfect amount for a scarf. And I thought I did my measuring and calculations correctly because I wanted to use every single bit of the yarn, but in the end I was left with 2 grams, and I know that 2 grams is nothing, but I was kind of angry that I had 2 grams of cashmere left, but I wasn't ripping it back to add those 2 grams because probably at the widest point, if I did one more back and forth, I'm not sure if that would be enough of yarn. I'm not sure. I'm not checking that. But yeah, I really like the yarn. I know there are mixed opinions about the softness of Cardiff Cashmere, and I think it has to do with the color. Maybe the dyeing process makes the fiber a bit different, but this color, I honestly don't know the color name. I forgot to check, and all the ball bands are gone. But this is this, I don't know, matcha green, probably you would call it. It's very soft, and this will be a gift for someone because this is not my color. And this is a mug that I have done myself. So as I said, I'm into pottery as well. So this is like a travel coffee mug, but today I have some cola in it because it's so warm. Okay, now let's go into whips, and I have a real failure here. And this is a project that you have seen before. I keep it in a project bag from Fruk Feast, which is a shop in Oslo, Norway. I think it's both like a bookstore and a yarn store. But yeah, I really like this small pouch. And the project that I have inside of it is the Waffle Tee by the Knit Pearl Girl. And as you can see, I am done with the body. It's short, it's longer, but it's rolling. But I am done with the body, and I have more than half of a sleeve done. I was doing long sleeves, and I say I was because I will be frogging that. And it's simply because apparently I cannot count at all. And I don't know what has happened, but so there is no shaping for bigger busts in the pattern, but Sophie, the Knit Pearl Girl, gives you like just a hint that you can move some stitches from the back towards the front to accommodate for a bigger bust. And I did that, and I thought that I have added, like moved 12 or 13 stitches on each side from back to front, which would in total give me 24 or 26 stitches. But and I did that. I did vertical bust darts as well, and then I did decreases more often for the front than for the back. So for the front I was doing the decreases every second round, when for the back I was doing waist shaping. For the back I did a decrease every 10th round. And after some time I counted, and in the front I had like 40 or even 50 stitches more than in the back, even though I had done a significant amount of decreases already. No idea how that happened, because it means that I had those 50 stitches more in the front than in the back, even though I thought I had around 26. So I have no idea how that happened. So I tried it on, and it still looked as if it was going to fit. So at this point I decided that I will do the front decreases even more rapidly. I have done them on every round until the front and the back were almost the same amount. So I don't know if you will be able to see, but yeah, there is like a huge difference between this part and this part. So this is the bust area and this is the bottom. So I did that, I bound off, and I didn't try it on then. I immediately went to the sleeve. I started working on the sleeve. I did like 20, 40, 50, 60, 70 rounds, maybe even more of the sleeve. And yeah, I was like 3/4 of the sleeve done, and only then I tried it on, and it looks ridiculous. So I will rip everything out, the sleeve, the body, and even the lace part, because at this point the lace was the most pleasurable part to knit, so I don't mind doing it again. I was doing a 4th size, and I will do a 3rd size now, and I don't think I will move any stitches from the back to the front. I will just do the vertical bust darts, horizontal bust darts, and I hope that this will be sufficient. But yeah, this needs to be frogged, and I think I will wait with recasting it on a couple of weeks, because yeah, I'm just too angry with it. The second work in progress is something that you have not seen yet, and it started as a failure because what I am working on right now is the Ivy top by Petite Knit. I finally caved in and I cast it on, even though I was not sure if it will fit my body type. But oh my god, I was not sure if it will fit my body type, but it looks as if it looks good on everyone, so I decided to give it a go. And in the pattern, they say to cast on for the neckline. The neckline is just a raw cast on edge. Cast on an airplane. Okay, so they tell you to cast on quoting rather tightly. So I thought I will be smart, and I'm doing this on 4mm needles. So I thought I will be smart and cast the neckline with 3mm needles and do it tightly. And there's no way this is going through my head. So I was not smart at all, but fortunately this time I tried to try it on before I went too far. So I think I was just finished with the shaping. There are some short rows to raise the back, which is very nice. So actually you can see it quite clearly here, the difference. So can you focus, please? Come on. I don't think it wants to focus. Why? Oh, come on. Yeah, I don't think it will be any better. So this is the front, and then you can see that the back is probably 2 or 2.5 centimeters longer than the front, which is nice. So yeah, I just kept this part to show you what a dum-dum I am, and recast it on. And just a bit about the shaping. So you start in the round, you're doing some short rows for the back, as well as shaping something that looks like a saddle shoulder, but it's not a saddle shoulder, it's done at the same time. And after you're done with this part, you are switching to knitting flat. So this is the second version. What's going on here? Second version that I have attempted, and this one is looking much better. So after you're done with the increases for the back and shaping of the shoulder strap, you're splitting to work flat. You're doing the back panel, do it for a certain length, and then do armhole increases. Then you get back to the front and do the same for the front. And after doing the armhole increases, which I am not that far away from for the front, I will be again joining in the round and just working stockinette in the round, which will be very nice. So I will be doing the horizontal bust darts for this one as well. And another modification that I have done is something that I have heard a lot of people talk about, is that the armhole depth is a bit long. So I have knit the non-increased part 2 centimeters shorter, and hopefully that will be okay. And I'm doing size 3 for this one because I have decided to use my upper bust measurement for this, and I think that I am still in theory a bigger amount of positive ease based on my upper part for this one, but I think it's actually fitting quite nicely. I hope that the mic is not completely covered, but as you can see, it looks as if the shoulder width is almost exactly the same as for the Irina top, which fits me quite nicely, I would say. So hopefully by adding the bust darts, it will not be too narrow around my bust. and it will fit me quite nicely. And I'm using Drops Bell in color Cherry. For this one I have 5 skeins, 5 bows, and in theory I think the pattern recommends a bigger amount of meterage yardage, but a lot of the projects used less than 5 bows of Drops Bell, so hopefully it will work out for me as well. It might be just cropped, but I think how much? So for this part I have used 1.5 ball of yarn, so it should be plenty enough. Okay, so you might remember that in the last episode I said that I'm done with the test knits, so I lied. I have signed up for one more test knit, but this is something that I have been eyeing from the time the designer started teasing it, and the pattern is Wild Ginger Tea by Andrea Gone, and it's very similar in construction to the ginger root tea, a ribbed version, basically the ribbed version of this tea. I have done the, oh my god, I'm still confusing, the bloodroot tea. I have done a couple of months ago, I think, and I'm very pleased with the fit of it. So I decided that I need the stockinette version, and when Andrea started the test call, I kind of signed up immediately without even thinking. And the construction that I'm talking about is simultaneously satin sleeve. So you start with the back, so kind of this regular trapezoid shape that you do very often for drop shoulders, and then you're picking up for the fronts, and after you're done with some front shaping, like probably majority of the front shaping until here, you go like this, pick up stitches around this armhole here, go through the back, pick up stitches for this armhole and for the front, and after you join in the round, you're basically doing increases only for the sleeve, and you're doing everything in the round, which is amazing. So I have just joined in the round, like this is my neckline. I have 2 rows, I think, so not that far into the project, but it's been actually like 2 evenings of work. It's going quite quickly because it's stockinette and because of the yarn. I think this is the first time I'm using Knitting for Olive. I do not have the ball band, sorry. This is the first time I'm using Knitting for Olive Merino. I know everyone has used it, but not me. And it's the color Wild Anemone, which is neither blue nor purple. It's like in color. I really like it a lot. And I really like this yarn. Like the feel of it, it's quite dry. It's not rustic, not scratchy, but it's dry. And the stitch definition, like my stitches have never been so even at this stage of a project when it's not blocked at all. I really like it. And yeah, so I have bought the yarn. Like, so for the Bloodroot Tea, Andrea was doing a knit along, and I have won one of the prizes, a $50 gift card to my local yarn store, and I have used that gift card to buy the yarn for this test knit, which is kind of a full circle. I went and bought it 2 days ago. I am very happy with how it's looking right now with the stitch definition. The pattern is for a tee, so for a short-sleeved version, but I will be doing it long sleeve. You can also do stripes. They are kind of written into the pattern. I think there are some instructions for them, but of course I'm doing a solid version. And for this one, actually, I am doing size 2, which is wild. Like normally, if I would be using my full bust measurement, I think I would be size 5, but I'm doing size 2 for this one because again, I am using my upper bust measurement, and there are bastards written into the pattern, like 2 different types of bastards for different cup sizes. I will be doing the biggest ones. So it should fit me really nicely around the shoulders, like not being too far down the shoulders. This is the problem that I had with the Poppy Tee, which I think is very similar construction to this one. So Poppy Tee from Petite Knit, I have done size 4 or size 5, and because the shaping is done so nicely, it kind of needs to be very tailored to this part of the body. And because I have chosen a size for the Poppy Tee, according to my full bust, it was too big for my upper torso area, and the shoulders were kind of drooping. It didn't look nicely at all. It was not oversized, it was just too big. So I hope by doing size 2 in this one, I should have a perfect fit around the shoulders, and then the bastards should give me enough room for enough fabric for the boobs. So yeah, the test knit runs until somewhere in September, I think like 20th of September, so I would suspect that the pattern will be released shortly after that. So this is actually everything that I wanted to talk about today. I have a couple more works in progress, but they are accessories that I'm working every now and then just because, yeah, if I go to the cinema or I'm traveling, I have like a hat and another Not-Sophie scarf, but nothing interesting about them yet. And I have some acquisitions, but I think I will talk about those when I actually have plans for them, when I'm about to cast them on. For now, this is everything. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, and have a lovely day, have a lovely week. See you in the next one.